Hey everyone, I'm here at Lions Park Disc Golf Course to bring you my first ever course review. So sit back and enjoy as I make a fool of myself trying to play a casual round. We begin at hole 1. Watch out for the OB on the left. Just throw a nice simple hyzer out either around the trees or, as I do, just cut right in front of the trees, hopefully giving yourself a nice easy putt at a 2. So, on to hole 2. The easiest route is to take the left side of this tower. You can go to the right of the tower, just be very wary of the OB parking lot on the other side. With a good drive, it is a wide open field, so your only obstacle on the putt is the wind itself. Moving on to hole 3, which plays slightly downhill and generally into a stiff headwind. Just take a mid or a putter, throw it low to either the left or right side of the fairway to let it funnel down to the basket. Don't do what I did and let the wind catch it. Hopefully this gives yourself a birdie chance or an easy par. So hole 4 now plays back uphill with a lot of low ceiling, so be sure to keep a fairway driver nice and low. I like to throw a hyzer flip up the middle, getting around all the trees and letting it flex back towards the basket. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case and gave me this long putt. Now for hole 5, you're going back down the hill again with low ceiling, so best bet is to take a fairway driver or a mid-range, keep it nice and low. I unfortunately kept it a little bit too high, but it somehow managed to make it through almost all the trees. Hopefully you'll have a better look at a 2 than me, or you're a much better putter. Hole 6 plays slightly downhill. Whether you're a lefty or righty, you're going to have to throw a flex shot around these initial trees on the left or right hand side. Don't do what I did in throwing it straight up in the air. The wind will catch it and stall the disc out early, giving you a long look at 2 and probably an easy tap in 3. Then on to hole 7, the most beautiful hole on the course. This is the ace run hole. Just don't leave it short and possibly throw into the water. I throw a nice flat putter shot and give myself a chance at the easy tap in 2. Now for all you monster arms out there, hole 8 is what you've been waiting for. If the wind is right, you can throw a big flex shot out over the pond. Otherwise, a big, just regular swooping hyzer down the fairway to get around the pond. Or if you're a mere mortal like me, just try to throw it straight, cut off as much distance as possible. Try to throw then across the pond and as close to the basket as you can. Sometimes you can position to get a 3. I unfortunately did not and flubbed both my second and third shots straight up into the wind, giving myself a tester at a 4. So then on to hole 9. Hole 9, I like to actually throw a big hyzer around the tree on the left over the road and just let the hill kind of funnel it back to the pin. For right-handed players, just throw a simple hyzer out. You do have that hill on the left and it will catch any unwanted flares. And then go ahead, get better luck than me and tap in for your 2. Now for hole 10, yet another of the big bomber holes. It is best to end up on the right side of the fairway just because there's a lot less obstacles than there is on the left. But don't worry, even on the left side, it's still fairly open. Get down the fairway as best you can, and then for your second shot, get it as close to the basket to get yourself a nice tap-in 3. Now on to hole 11, which plays a lot more uphill than it looks on camera. I like to go low and to the left of this tree, as with all the trees on the left-hand side, you just can't really get something to flex out going uphill. Try to bite off as much of the fairway as possible to leave myself with the short approach and then the easy tap-in par. Hole 12 is yet another long one. You can either take the right-hand side of the trees, or you can go kind of the left side down the middle like I do and get a flex to get around the trees, setting yourself up for a good look at the basket for that throw-in 2. Or in this case, the tap-in 3. As we look down at hole 13, I'll let you listen in to what the wind was doing the entire round. A well-positioned putter shot will get you that nice look at the 2. Now on to hole 14. If you're a right-handed player, it is just a nice hyzer straight down the middle and let it funnel towards the basket. For me as a lefty, with all the trouble on the left-hand side, I go with a big flexing anhyzer, hoping that it'll flex out towards the basket. In this case, I didn't get enough air underneath it, so it didn't come back all the way, but I still get my easy 3. Hole 15, slightly downhill, and the only obstacle is the tree right down the middle, about 20 feet or so in front of the basket. Just throw a putter to the left or right of that tree, let it hyzer to the basket, and get yourself that nice and easy 2. On to hole 16, yet another long one. However, most players actually opt for the roller on this hole, as that wall of trees is about 2/3 of the way down the fairway. Personally though, I like to do an anhyzer out to the left, leaving myself a simple hyzer around all the trees, hopefully getting a nice clean look for the 3. Hopefully your approach shot is better than mine and you have a much easier putt. On to hole 17, which is pretty straightforward, but if you are a right-handed player, you do have to throw more of a flex shot because that hill on the right can come into play. As a lefty though, just toss out a hyzer. I try to get to the top of the levee or as close as I can, and then give myself a nice, easy 3. Now for the final hole, number 18. If you're a left-handed player, go ahead and throw a low skip shot to the left of these trees. Right-handed players, you can go up the middle of a mid-range or putter. Just be very wary of the OB pond on the right-hand side, and hopefully you're tapping in to finish your round with a 2. Review time. So Lions Park is what I would call an intermediate level course. It offers short tee pads for beginners. I was playing from the longs, but even still, it's not too overwhelming for intermediate amateur level players. Now, it does have a few big bomber holes for the advanced to pro level players, but overall, there's really not a whole lot of challenge. The wind itself is the challenge, so depending how windy of the day is will determine what your scoring chances are going to be. On calm days, it is not uncommon to score very well here, versus on windy days, it can be very difficult. So primarily what I use this course as, it's a practice course for me. It's one of those courses where if I'm trying to focus on something, how does the discs in my bag, how do they react to the wind? Learning how to putt in a headwind and a tailwind. That is why I come to this course to practice those kinds of things. It's not in my mind a destination course. I would not, if I live out of state, I would not come specifically to play this course. But if you're passing through, have a little bit of time. Absolutely, it is still fun to play at this course. And I would still recommend it for beginners just because there's not a whole lot of obstacles. So really, besides the wind, you don't have to worry. It's very forgiving. Even if you miss your lines, the trees are few and far between. So compared to a lot of other courses, this is a very forgiving, just fun course to play. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.